Well, I'm now being joined by Rina Oh from New York. She's a survivor of Jeffrey Epstein's sexual abuse. Rina, thank you so much for joining us here on NDTV. I want to start first by asking you, what happened with you back then? You were 21 when you were introduced to Epstein, and why didn't you realize that, why didn't it register to you that what was happening was sexual abuse?
Well, from an early age, when I was 5 or 6 years old, I was abused by an adult. And I was naturally a very silent person. And I didn't realize it was abuse because I didn't even know when I was younger. And it was very easy to manipulate me. I was already very damaged. And Jeffrey saw that. And he took advantage of me.
Okay, you say that Jeffrey took advantage of you. In one of your interviews, you also said that Jeffrey Epstein made you feel indebted to him. How soon was it after you met him that you realized that this is much darker and you're perhaps trapped in some kind of a web?
That's a very hard question to answer. I think it took some time. There was a turning point where I knew that it was absolutely dark. It was during a trip when I accompanied him, another girl, and Ghislaine to Florida. And there are things that he told me during that trip that was probably one of his darkest secrets. And when I repeated it to another girl, she went back and told him that I told her, and he threatened me. After that, I felt like I couldn't even leave if I wanted to. He also had information about me that I knew he could use someday.
So he was blackmailing you,
to hurt me. He never blackmailed me, but at the time I didn't have my permanent residency. And he had told me previously that he knew everyone in Washington. And due to that, I knew that all he had to do was make a phone call. If I ever spoke up, I knew he would hurt me in many ways. He also knew where I lived, where my parents lived. And I do have evidence that he most likely tailed me, had people follow me around. I think he also did this with a lot of the other girls.
Right, Rina, it's very brave of you to narrate your ordeal again and again. I just want to ask you the kind of tactics that Jeffrey Epstein used, considering the powerful network and how rich he was. What kind of tactics did he use as a witness when you were part of these high-profile circles? How did it affect you? Because in one of your interviews, you've said that he did not just physically abuse you, but also emotionally and mentally.
He psychologically harmed me by devaluing me after saying great things about me for a while. It took many, many months. Down the road, he started with insults, criticizing my body, telling me what to do with my body. And then I think the time when I heard him, and he said this more than once, he started telling me I was too old. A lot.
But you met him when you were 21, if I'm correct.
I was 21.
Yes.
And he was 47 at the time.
Right.
So you could just imagine a 21-year-old being told that she's too old. I ended up having long-lasting damage as a result of it.
Right. Rina, did you adhere? Did you follow what he was saying? How did he perhaps trap you in this kind of a web? And at what time did you realize that I need to get out of this because what is happening to me is sexual abuse by a pedophile?
I think the last time I saw him, he was very violent. And that was the last time I saw him. I just never went back. I didn't answer phone calls. But afterwards, I never spoke up.
It's understandable how terrified you'd be back then. But how do you feel today? You're one of the most vocal Epstein survivors. You've been very brave enough to come out and tell the world what happened with you back then, and that's absolutely not easy, especially with the former UK Prince Andrew being arrested, who was linked with Epstein. How do you feel about all of these things right now?
I think our government here in the United States is not doing enough. And this morning, I was receiving a lot of phone calls from people who, they actually told me what happened with the former Prince Andrew. And I think it's about time that something like this happened. I know he will never admit to the other allegations. However, this is a stepping stone, and he needs to answer to everyone. What was he doing around this man long after he was convicted, sentenced, and then he came out of jail? And we've been wondering all these years since he denied any wrongdoing in the other allegations. It's a relief that someone of his stature is being held accountable, even though he's a former royal member of the royal family. Well, he's still blood related, but he no longer holds a title. I think this is going to set an example for anyone else who's named, whether their names are redacted or unredacted, the government has the information. And I hope they take more action because they're not doing anything here.
Right. What would your message be to all the survivors who are watching you right now? And of course, before we start this interview, you spoke about Dorothy, who's the mother of Caroline, and she passed away in 2023 and was perhaps the key witness in the Maxwell trial.
I want all the survivors to know that they're not alone, that the world does care about them, and they need to stay strong. Don't let the government, the Department of Justice, intimidate them. I know a lot of them are scared right now because their names have been revealed. They've been anonymous for so many years. They need to be persistent, and we are going to do this. We are going to get the full transparency, and those who participated in this, organized criminal enterprise, they will be held accountable. We're going to get all of them.
Absolutely, Rina. Thank you so much for joining us on NDTV and sharing your ordeal with us.